In this commercial, he is exaggerating the effects of the disease. He is moving all around and shaking, and it's purely an act. This is the only time I have ever seen Michael J. Fox portray any of the symptoms of the disease he had. He can control himself enough to stay in the frame of the picture, and he can control himself enough to keep his eyes right on the lens, the teleprompter. But his head and shoulders are moving all over the place. So this is really shameless, folks. This is really shameless of Michael J. Fox. Either he didn't take his medication or he's acting.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
Hey guys!
Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
So, what's up, everybody? Good morning, or good afternoon if you're on the East Coast or further east than that. I'm James Hake. This is the Hake Report. It is hour 4 of Jesse Lee Peterson's stream on YouTube, D Live, Mixer, and Periscope. Shout out, guys. Appreciate it. And what you just heard at the beginning of, right before my beautiful intro song, thank you, Trevor, that Joel played was a clip of Rush Limbaugh, the great Rush Limbaugh, pointing out an incident of a Hollywood actor being phony, allegedly, according to him. And I'm not familiar with this incident, but this was a clip shared by some stupid liberals who think that Rush is shameless for suggesting that evil. I'm just kidding, Howie. I didn't know that was you, Howie. But very often, and I've noticed this too. I noticed this when Michael J. Fox, you know, some of you guys might not even know who Michael J. Fox is. Do you know who Michael J. Fox is? Wow. Dang. I guess I am Gen X. I'm like a Gen Y, but I thought I was Gen X until like senior year of high school. And then I found out that, I'm Gen Y. And then later they started calling them millennials. And I'm like, I don't like that word, millennials, because it sounded like little kids. But I liked Gen Y all right. Well, you know, Rush Limbaugh came out with this news that he's dealing with advanced lung cancer, right? And then the next day or a couple of days later, yes, Keck Radio. A couple of days later, or a day later, President Trump gives him the Presidential Medal of Freedom Award, which is the highest civilian honor that a man can have, with millions of people watching. It was a great time to be giving him that award, to be honest, because the State of the Union address is maybe the most watched presidential speech of any given year, generally, right? Except for maybe the inauguration speech, I guess, if it's the first inauguration of a president. But it was the perfect time to do it. Rush has a big platform, and Trump gave him the biggest platform that he could. And Rush Limbaugh, if you're not familiar, he's a radio host, conservative guy, been around forever, been around as long as Bond has been around, I think. Maybe longer, I don't know. 30 years or so. And Jesse Lee Peterson started Bond 30 years ago. But he's been on the radio and nationally known. I grew up knowing a little bit about him, you know, once I hit junior high-ish age, maybe a little younger, definitely a little bit younger, actually. And so Rush Limbaugh is getting hit pieces against him from the stupid liberals that hate him so bad. And dumb liberals like this, I have a tweet that shared this clip, right? This is supposed to be a clip that makes him look bad. In my opinion, it does not make Rush look bad. Show this tweet, Joel. It's just one of the screenshots. There you go. From Sage. Can you read that name for me? Rosenfellow?
Rosenfels?
Rosenfels. Sage, S-A-G-E, correct? So this guy is like a former football player, I guess. I don't know. But he's a liberal. He white, I think. But he tweeted out this video that he came across and said, that time Rush Limbaugh made fun of Michael J. Fox and his Parkinson's disease. But play the clip one more time. If you play the clip one more time, you'll hear what he actually did, and he wasn't making fun of him and his Parkinson's disease. He's like he is giving his reaction based on how Michael J. Fox was acting. Go for it.
In this commercial, he is exaggerating the effects of the disease. He is moving all around and shaking, and it's purely an act. This is the only time I have ever seen Michael J. Fox portray any of the symptoms of the disease he had. He can control himself enough to stay in the frame of the picture, and he can control himself enough to keep his eyes right on the lens, the teleprompter. But his head and shoulders are moving all over the place. So this is really shameless, folks. This is really shameless of Michael J. Fox. Either he didn't take his medication or he's acting.
So this was like, I guess, just obscure footage. I don't know what year this was. It was before he had his beard. He looked a little heavier at this point. Because Rush lost a lot of weight at one point. Well, Michael J. Fox, if you're not familiar, by the way, Michael J. Fox is the guy from Back to the Future. You ever heard of Back to the Future? Yeah, he's the kid. He's Marty McFly. And he also was in Teen Wolf. Have you ever heard of Teen Wolf? I think they even had a cartoon based on him. Like he was a likable guy. And then he got Parkinson's disease. Gosh, it's been quite a while now. My grandpa, by the way, on my dad's side, my grandpa Hake, he had Parkinson's disease like ever since I knew. And he got progressively worse, where like he started hardly talking. But it's just an interesting clip. They showed this to make him look bad, and they're trying to treat him like he's the hateful one, when they're the hateful ones, and they're saying he lacks empathy for people. I hope he suffers for what he didn't, for not giving empathy and compassion and. Well, they didn't use the word compassion, but the empathy and, I don't know, whatever, caring for other people that he didn't give. Because that's how liberals think. They think that conservatives are uncaring, unloving. But empathy is a liberal word because empathy is the fake imitation of love. Grandpa Hake. And so you see all these people like celebrating, one, that he has the disease and bemoaning the fact that Trump gave him the Presidential Medal of Freedom, which is the same Medal of Freedom that Martin Luther King Jr. got. And I'm like, Rush is a better man than Martin Luther King Jr. Martin Luther King Jr. is dead, for one, and for another, look at the results of his supposed work. The results are the black community is even more immoral than ever. And they're crying racism and pushing this fake civil rights. Civil rights is now for homosexuals and all that madness. And women killing their babies, reproductive rights. That's all part of his legacy. Look at his legacy. His family is horrible people. MLK's family. So Rush Limbaugh, in my opinion, which, although I don't know much about MLK, more deserving than MLK, I would venture to say. That's my speculation. And I think it's an educated, fair guess, right? I'm sure a lot of you would agree with me, actually. Anyways, Hake, you are full of Satan, sir. That's what Do Right said. I've banned Do Right so many different times under different names. Anyways, yeah. Anything else? So, are you clear what Michael J. Fox was? He was the kid. He was an actor, kind of short, punk, Not as in punk rock, but just like a short guy. And that's, I thought that was a fair criticism. About this Parkinson's thing, I remember when Michael J. Fox got it, I wasn't happy that he got it because I liked Michael J. Fox. I liked his movies, Back to the Future 1, 2, and 3. And I liked the little snippets of Teen Wolf that I used to see sometimes, or whatever his thing was. But I did find it odd as a child when this happened, or as a young adolescent, maybe. I think I was a child, actually. When he got this Parkinson's, all of a sudden he became a Parkinson's disease advocate. I'm like, that's kind of selfish. All of a sudden you become this activist for this disease once you get the disease. To me, that seems selfish. All these people that get cancer, all of a sudden they get cancer advocacy. I get it to a point because you don't realize what you have till it's gone, your health, right? Or you don't realize how bad a situation is until you're in it. So I definitely can understand and sympathize to a point. Sympathy is kind of beta, right? But it just seemed definitely odd to me that he does this and all the media attention on him and this feeling sorry for him seemed fake, seemed like a emotional reaction. Love seems like it should be consistent regardless. But the media is based on guilt and, no, I didn't ban Do Right for disagreeing. Marcus Jones is in the chat. See, Hake just admitted to banning people for disagreeing. There's these snakes in the snake pit, which I call YouTube live chat. And Marcus Jones has been on thin ice with the mods for a long time. So is Joe from Phoenix, because they are snakes. They lie about Jesse Lee Peterson and me, and they're just always nitpicking. Marcus Jones may actually like us. I don't know. And Joe from Phoenix may like us. I don't know. But they are snakes. I mean, look, Skip likes us a lot. But he's a snake too. And then I am formerly, a lot of these guys, total snakes. But they like us. And they agree with a lot of stuff. It's just not all. But they also start accusing. And making up lies and stuff like that. And nitpicking and just being all kind of like the Pharisees with Jesus. So, I've banned Do Right for saying disgusting things. Marcus Jones, I never said that I banned him for disagreeing. So, let me just get to Howie Manley's response. There's right and there's wrong. Rush did wrong by saying that. He's like Trump and can't control their temper. I'm kind of having to put words because he's not a complete statement. But he's like Trump. Yeah, he is like Trump, but I don't see where he's... Howie, if you can, call in, because it would be nice to hear from you. Howie's a fan of Jesse, and he likes me, I think. But I think he's a fellow radio host. He's interviewed Jesse on Periscope. Well, he didn't interview him on Periscope, but I don't see where he's wrong with that. That's his honest criticism. He said he either is faking it or he's didn't take his meds. But I think it's a fair criticism. And these actors, Hollywood actors in general, whatever you think of, whatever is true about Michael J. Fox, these Hollywood actors are the scum of the earth. Generally. They're miserable people. You know how Rush and Jesse Lee Peterson, they're full of joy. Trump is too. And they talk about conservatives being genuinely happy. Whereas the Democrats and the people in D.C., the swamp, are miserable, unhappy people. And sinners and snakes. And all that stuff. President Trump, this is a side note, he remarked that he worked in New York, and they are rough to deal with in New York, the people of New York. The deal makers, the mob, all those people. Everybody that you have to work with in New York. It's a tough situation. Well, he said D.C. is worse. And I believe that people accuse New York of being rude. I don't buy that. I don't buy that they're so-called rude. I think that they are they live in this hustle-bustle thing where you have to be assertive. And plus, aren't they, there's a lot of Jews and a lot of blacks, right? And those are some of the most forthright people, I think. But anyways, at least over in New York, and the Italians too, and just in general, you have to be pushy and not beat around the bush with this stuff. People are in a hurry in New York, so they just don't have time for pretending to be nice and fake. So they're just straightforward. That's how I see New York. I don't see them as rude. But he said about DC that they are, I think he might have even used the term snakes. Like they'll smile in your face and they just stab you in the back. The backstabbing in DC, Washington, DC, which is the capital where all the politicians, or at least the federal politicians are. And the deep state, by the way, a lot of the deep state people in the media, people, some of them are in New York. They're slime as well. But all that stuff, the news media, the politicians, the academics, just slimy people. And he's right, I think. So I stand with Rush Limbaugh on all of his phony little fake controversies, including when he called, what's her name, Sandra Fluke, a slut. But then he apologized for it later. But he was losing sponsors because you can't criticize a woman or call a woman what she is. Maybe he was angry and wrong for saying it. I don't know. Maybe he was right for saying it. It was accurate. It was an accurate statement because this woman, Sandra Fluke, is a far left liberal woman, academic woman or whatever. Now she's an activist or maybe even a politician. I think she became a congressman, a female congressman. I could be wrong. But he called her out because she did this long speech during Obama's presidency demanding that the government pay for her birth control pills while she's in school. That's lame. Do-Right says, that's a lie, Hake. I only tell the truth. That's a lie right there, Do-Right. So I'm going to get to some calls. I want to talk about, I have a funny clip of this Iowa coin toss that I read to you guys about in Hake News yesterday because the Iowa caucuses were so out of control. And then I have a little more reaction about the State of the Union and comparison to last year. I wonder if any of the people on the dissident right are unhappy with anything that Trump said. Because I know there was some stuff they were unhappy about last year, and I'm going to mention some of those things. Kind of funny stuff. The phony impeachment ends today, I think, hopefully. Exoneration today, right? Acquittal, anyways. 4 p.m. Eastern, they're supposed to vote. 1 Pacific. So we'll see what happens. The liberal media are looking at the rhinos as if they matter. Susan Collins is a rhino, and she's unclear about how she's going to vote. And Mitt Romney, the disgusting guy, former governor of Massachusetts, and then somehow magically he became a senator in Utah. He Mormon. It's unclear how he's going to vote. Is he going to pull a John McCain and vote against Trump? Remember John McCain had that sickness before he died, and he came out of his sickness to go vote. He was still sick, though. And I think it was on repealing Obamacare entirely. And he talked big like he wanted to repeal Obamacare, and then suddenly it was Trump who was going to do it, and he voted against it. Something like that. It was something big where he cast the deciding vote, and he made it all dramatic, put his hand out, and then went like that. Whiff. I guess he sealed his fate then. Evil. And then hopefully if I get to the time, I'll deal with this China virus thing. It seems like it's pretty serious. It might be more serious than SARS. It seems like it's more widespread than SARS. I have a feeling that SARS was, I just wonder whether SARS, the SARS of 2002, 2003, was less of an epidemic because we were less politically correct back then. That's just I'm just wondering out loud. Not that it spread that much in America, but shutting down travel was probably more politically correct back then in 2002, 2003, when this SARS epidemic, basically like a flu type of thing, killed 800 Chinese people and others. Now they have this other coronavirus. SARS was a coronavirus, and this other one is a newer coronavirus. And it's killed like close to 500 people, according to the media reports. I don't know. And it's infected tens of thousands. Like, I thought I saw like 25,000. And like something like 3,000 or something, critical condition. That's crazy. Pretty big. Anyways, I'm going to get to some of that stuff, hopefully. Jason, though, out of Orange County, California. Jason, are you there?
Yeah.
Hey, good to hear from you. What's up?
How you doing? Is it cool if I ask my question and then hang up and listen to the answer? Because I got to start getting ready to go to work.
All right, yeah, go for it. Yeah, thanks for holding me.
Quick. Yeah, no worries, man. Quick question. I wanted to ask what you thought about Nancy Pelosi ripping up this Trump speech.
Yeah. Okay.
And just your quick opinion on it, because when I saw it, my stomach sank. I could not believe she did that.
Interesting. I didn't, when I saw her do it the first time, I thought that she was just separating papers and putting one behind the other. I didn't even realize that she was doing that. And then I was watching Fox News.
I'm going to listen to the answer, James, okay?
All right.
Okay,
Thanks, Jason. Yeah, so when I saw her do it, and I didn't realize that that's what she was doing, I thought that she was just separating papers and putting one set of papers behind the other. But she actually took at least 3 different little stacks because she couldn't do them all at once. She's no power team. The power team being the Christian strongmen who rip up whole phone books. Well, she's not that. She's not that strong. Strong woman, though, right? Well, I heard that she did it before I saw and noticed that she actually did that. I saw it but didn't realize what I was seeing. And I think it was Brett Baer who said, oh my gosh, I think she just tore up this speech. Or some papers or something like that. And so they said that was a big thing. And they talked about other ways that she and Trump snubbed each other. She didn't introduce Trump as it's my distinct honor and privilege to whatever introduce the President of the United States. She just said the President of the United States when she introduced him. Something like along those lines. Because she's not honored or privileged to be honoring anybody who's honorable. She'd rather honor Obama, somebody who's quite dishonorable. So when she did that, my heart did not sink. I kind of like, oh gosh, okay. What a sleazy woman. I don't expect anything of the Democrats. I expect pretty much just evil from them. Phoniness and evil and all that stuff. Even when they're agreeing with Trump or something, I'm watching them. I'm not being happy that they're doing the right thing. Yeah, I'm a little bit happy sometimes when he does make them do the right thing sometimes. I just thought, and maybe it's because of one of my coworkers, my new coworker actually, Chris, he made the point that that all of the talk now is about Nancy Pelosi. It's not about the awesome speech. It's not about the great things that the country is going through now, thanks to Trump and the administration, and thanks to the American people becoming decent again, many of them. We're not happy that Soleimani and al-Baghdadi are dead, who reportedly killed a bunch of Americans. It was nice, by the way, and I had forgotten this moment when Kayla Mueller, I had talked about this young woman who got like a Middle Eastern boyfriend or something. She went over there, do-gooder, Christian, maybe liberal, I don't know. But she got herself in a situation where she got captured by ISIS and eventually killed. And I had told you guys a little bit about her several weeks ago, maybe even several months ago. Kayla Mueller, I think is her name. And it was nice that he honored her parents or something like that. He did. Her parents were there. She's dead now. And it reminded me of last year when he honored the parents of that student, that male in his early 20s or something, who went over to North Korea and allegedly tried to steal a poster or something stupid, got himself captured and tortured to the point where he was delivered back to America. Trump got him back into America, and he was in a coma, and he died. And I used to see him, like the footage of him being led around by the North Koreans, and I was like, what an idiot. And yes, you could say, yes, he's an idiot for what he did, but he is an American. He didn't deserve to be treated that way. Yes, in the sense he put himself in that situation, so he kind of got what he deserved, knowing how bad North Korea is. But that's evil what North Korea did, and it was right of Trump to like respect the parents and kind of have America share a little bit in their suffering, because that's what the church is supposed to do a little bit. You know, not go overboard with sharing in people's suffering and feeling sorry for everybody, but just acknowledging the loss. And so I loved that. And then Pelosi, being the sleaze that she is, of course she's going to do that. Tear it up, make a scene, make it about her. It's like what Jesse said, Jesse Lee Peterson, throw a temper tantrum and make the world revolve around her again, even if it's for something bad. It's like the child, the spoiled child who throws a crazy temper tantrum to get the attention and take away from Trump's accomplishments and Trump making America great again. And there's a whole lot of slime who are the voters who support scum like her. And I saw one woman on Twitter say that just a random woman, say that she is a goddess. That Nancy Pelosi is a goddess. But don't be dismayed, like the Bible says. The Bible warns about the evil of the world, telling you, don't be dismayed and don't believe these rumors of wars and rumors of, wars and rumors of wars. Don't be dismayed at that. Don't be dismayed at the evil when people go against you for doing good or go against what's right. This is just what's supposed to happen. And we're supposed to stand for what's right, and they're doing their job, which is evil. I like how Jesse Lee Peterson makes that point. Evil is doing its job. It's time for good to do our job. I mean, if we are good, or to become good, whatever. No man is good. But that's how I feel about it. Hopefully that made sense. Appreciate the call and appreciate you holding, man. Did we do this? Let me get to this. Sion, out of Georgia. Sion, are you there?
Yes. Hi.
Hey, nice to hear from you.
Yeah, nice to call you.
Is this have you called into my show before?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I think one Sunday about that chant.
Oh, I remember that. And in fact, I even mentioned you yesterday. What did you think about that, time. By the way?
Well, I think I told you I didn't like that because it seems like it affected most of the immigrants, including me, immigrants.
Right.
Even though I'm a natural citizen, it just didn't come off right.
When
yeah.
When we're talking about when Trump referred to those Democrat congresswomen, the supposed progressive Democrat congresswomen who are complaining and acting like they could run the country better than us, better than Trump anyways.
No.
Telling them
Not
to go
about
back.
Them, I disagree. about them. But he didn't say it. Trump didn't say it. His supporters did.
Right. Yeah.
And why? I mean, I'm sorry to say, and I gotta just get it out.
Yeah.
I live in Georgia, and it's the South, and not everybody is. I don't believe in racism. It's evil.
Yeah.
Between evil and good, but it seems like just like the black people here, the black Americans are taught to not to trust white people, not to like white people because they're evil and conniving.
Yeah.
By their families, just like that, white folks have been raised to think that way too. Some of them, not all. Okay, I work in corporate type of job.
Yeah.
So I see that just they can't help it. It's evil. I know. And Trump supporters in that chat, some of them meant for Omar only.
Right.
But some of it is just the hatred that's inside them. Also, that's all.
But you know that. Are you aware that most of the immigrants vote Democrat?
Yeah, because of the free stuff they also get.
Yeah.
I mean, Ethiopians, we work hard, that.
Right.
And their countries too. We don't have the opportunity like the Black Americans because they did help build this country with the whites.
Yeah.
I believe that. So we don't have that much opportunity, and they deserve it. I know we're like the third citizens, for me.
You feel that the Ethiopians are the third-class citizens?
Yes, not just Ethiopians, but those.
But all the immigrants in general are third-class citizens. You feel?
I feel yes.
Wow. That's a shame. Doesn't that mean that diversity is a bad thing? Because it just encourages these feelings of comparing situations and comparing the opportunities that the different people have. And it just breeds this resentment. And you're like one of the nice ones. You support Trump and all that.
I do.
That's why this is part, Sion, this is part of why the many whites and many people in general don't like this diversity thing, because it just breeds this suspicion, and where even nice people like you are coming back and criticizing them for how they feel about their culture being changed without their permission, their country being changed without their permission. Because not everybody, I bet you most Ethiopians don't support Trump. Am I wrong?
Yes, they look at me all crazy.
Yeah.
In the too, because I seem like a liberal person.
Right.
I look and however, but I.
And so, like, even the hardworking Ethiopians, which I would guess that most of them are hardworking, successful people.
Yeah.
Even most of them, just like the Asians, they're hardworking, but they end up voting away the white people and away the men and away what's right, because I don't know what it is, they're blind, whatever, but they don't vote for America to stay America. They vote for America to turn socialist, globalist, anti-white, anti-men, and I don't think that they realize what they're doing. And that's why that's one of the reasons why the whites are very suspicious of immigrants, because they end up the immigrants are very suspicious of the whites. So it's not just that they're raised a certain way, they're also experiencing the way that so many of the immigrants are. You know what I mean? You follow that?
Yeah.
I know it's unfair to treat you that way because you like the white people and you like Trump and all that. But even you are getting offended on behalf of this sentiment when they don't necessarily mean you personally, or even necessarily your family. They're mainly talking about these liberal radical immigrants who hate America but pretend to love America. They talk out of both sides of their mouths. Anyways, you get what my point is?
I get your point, and yes, because in Ethiopia, I'm talking my country.
Yeah.
And I'm sure most of East Africa, as far as I know, they watch BBC News.
Oh,
and
yeah.
CNN. There's no Fox News, so it's like, you know, the Democratic type of
Brainwashing.
mentality, how they, the people, the Republicans, they like to oppress you, and we're trying to help you and invite you into the country so you can have opportunity, you know, all kinds of stuff. Like Washington, D.C., most Ethiopian immigrants are there, and they fight to stay there, illegal or not.
Right.
Illegal, most of them, they connive their way here, and most of them go through, oh my God, by the way, they go through the Mexican border too.
Oh, man. Horrible.
Yeah, oh, God. Okay.
Anyways.
I got to go back to class. I have an assignment for tomorrow, but I wanted to say happy birthday to my friend on Facebook. Also a JLP family. I know sometimes he could get a little whatever on, he knows, on when he does, he's the mod. Brandon Johnson, happy birthday. On the chat, he gets kind of out of control.
Nice. And you gave a super chat. Did Jesse Lee Peterson do this, the birthday song for him?
No, I don't think he did. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm in and out a lot because I'm busy over the week. I work and go to class.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah,
hard-working woman.
Yeah, working.
Well,
say happy birthday to him.
I will.
If you want, you can have a good voice. But happy birthday.
Yes. Brandon Johnson, this song is for you. Sing with me, Sion. Birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. I'm not that off key.
You're great.
Yeah.
Okay, you be yourself and don't listen to people telling you to wear suits or polo, whatever.
I appreciate it. Sion, nice to hear from you and good conversation. I'm glad we got to deal with that issue more. You heard my conversation. Did you hear my conversation with, I think, Chris from Los Angeles, the veteran, the Mexican-American?
Oh, my God.
Who was born here?
Okay, you guys are going to be overtaken, I predict. Okay?
Who,
a
whites?
lot of Mexicans. I'm not hating, but this country's like everywhere you look, and they mix with your people.
I know. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, actually, one of my first crushes was Mexican.
Mommy Africans, too. Say Mommy African.
Mommy Africa. All right, Sion. Nice to hear from you.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Take care. So, that was fun. Brandon Johnson, very good guy. He's the one that shouted out Richard Spencer, one of my recent guests, who is one of the alt-right guys. He met him over in Virginia, Charlottesville, Virginia. And Brandon Johnson's black. Good guy, though. Appreciate you, Brandon Johnson. Happy birthday. I wonder how old he is. He's not a female, so he doesn't get to keep that feminine mystique, because females like to keep their birthdays like to keep their birthdays private, or at least their age private. Anyways. Let me get to some calls first, and then hopefully I can show you the coin toss. I almost called it a coin toss. Coin toss at the end of the show. Does that make sense? Coin toss? Yeah, the coin toss. The clip. Lorin out of Idaho. Lorin, am I pronouncing your name right?
Yeah, James.
Hey, good to hear from you again.
Yeah, it's good to hear from you, too. I wanted to bring up something that unfortunately got a bit overlooked during the State of the Union because of Nancy Pelosi's actions. But one of my favorite guests was that little baby Ellie.
Yeah.
She was born at 21 weeks. I don't know if people realize that, but that's a second trimester, 5-month viable baby. And she's alive and well. And I've looked on the media, and no one has mentioned that girl.
Yeah, I really liked that scene. I just asked.
I mean, honestly, Hake, I was almost brought to tears.
Yeah, the mother was like almost
5
crying.
Months?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was crying. She, you could tell she was trying to hold it back, but I mean, all the guests were amazing, but that
Right.
I mean, I had no idea that a baby could live at 21 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's to me, that's completely shocking. I think that's probably why no one's mentioning it, because it's too much.
What is
truth,
that?
you
What?
know?
There she is. There's the mother and the baby daughter. That's not as
Yeah,
good of
her
a
name is
picture
Ellie.
as from the actual State of the Union address. There's like,
Yeah.
but anyways, but I appreciate you finding that shot. Anyways, yeah, Lorin, good point. And I
mean, like I said,
I
to
loved
me,
how he brought up
I-
abortion after that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he was talking, he brought up ending third trimester abortion, but as you know, Ellie was a second trimester
Yeah.
child. So,
And
I mean, to me, and hopefully so the rest of Americans are actually awake, they were shocked at that because, well, like I said, I had no idea that a baby could be viable at 21 weeks.
Yeah, normally a pregnancy is what? Is it 40 weeks? Something
Yeah,
like that?
well, it's 9 months, so that would be, be 36.
I don't know math.
Yeah, I'm bad at math too, but it would be 36.
Okay.
But you hear people say, no, it's just a clump of cells, or they're undeveloped without fingers and toes.
Well,
and this is obviously not true.
actually, a month is 4.2, 4.3 weeks. So it might actually be
You're right. Yes, so it might actually be 40.
closer to 40.
You actually are good at math.
Yeah, my dad was a math teacher. He wrote math books. My mother actually was better at math or something like that than him, and then he started teaching math, and then he's like, my students are not learning, so he wrote his own math books or math lessons
interesting.
where they just repeated.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I'm pretty good at math. I made it to trig, but I hate it.
Yeah.
It frustrates me, you know what I mean? Anyways, I sent you, I don't know if you got it, but I sent you some articles regarding the national debt. I don't know if you remember our conversation from last week.
Okay.
But
all right.
I sent you some stuff about deficit doomers, and it kind of explains how the national debt works. I sent it to
Oh, yeah,
to the
okay.
Hake Report.
Yeah, great.
check that out.
Are
It's
you
pretty
the
good.
one who said that that's more important than the wall, or are you the guy who?
No, that.
Are you the guy who called
I
that
was
guy a
refuting
closet
Greg.
communist?
I called him a deficit doomer. I mean, people have been
Right.
saying this for decades and decades, and the deficit doesn't work like that. For instance,
He sent me
I
info
bought
as
a new
well.
Ford Explorer. I bought a new Ford Explorer.
Yeah.
I'm in debt. I put $15,000 down, but I'm in debt $25,000.
Okay.
But I only have about $1,900 in my savings right now. But
Okay.
that doesn't mean that that my life is going to be ruined because I'm $25,000 in debt. That's paid off, at increments. So in doing so, it raises my credit score.
Right.
I could have possibly paid cash if I would have got a bank loan, but instead I just got it directly from Ford. So that just shows you holding a debt doesn't mean that you're insolvent. I mean,
Yeah.
read that article if you have
True.
time. It explains a lot better than I can. But you asked for it, so I figured I'd send you some things.
All right. I appreciate that, Lorin. I'll look out for it.
Yeah, man.
All right.
Take care.
You as well.
All right, peace.
Bye. Let me get to Alexis out of Houston, Texas. I've talked with Alexis before, and I loved his call last hour with the Jesse Lee Peterson show. Check that out if you didn't hear it. Hey, Alexis, good to hear from you.
You too, man. I'm back.
Nice.
Hey, so what I wanted to comment on, I don't know if you guys have talked about it, but there's a video on Twitter of a lady changing her mind about voting for Pete. Can't say his last name. But she changed her mind when she found out afterwards that he was a homosexual.
Oh, whoa.
And,
Wow.
yeah, have you seen that?
I have not. Dang.
Yeah. So there's a video of a lady talking to a representative of Pete, and she finds out he's a homosexual, and she says, "You know what? Never mind. I changed my mind. I don't want to vote for him anymore."
Nice.
And the lady says, "Well, the vote's already in." They didn't want to give it back.
Oh man.
And
That's
and
terrible.
The thing is that on Twitter, I see that a lot of conservatives are shaming that lady, saying, "Oh, and you guys say that the Democrats are the tolerant. Look how tolerant the Democrats are."
Yeah.
However, the way I feel about it is like, well, she has a little bit of common sense left in her. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But I see a lot of conservatives shaming her because she's not, what's the word, she's not tolerant enough to vote for a gay man. So I was very surprised to see that.
Yeah.
And no, I didn't see many conservatives speak up and say that she's right. She shouldn't be voting for a homosexual.
Right. Yeah. Man, imagine if it goes to Mayor Pete, or former Mayor Pete now. I guess he resigned or has finished his thing finally with the city of South Bend. But, yeah, that's the state of so-called many so-called conservatives today, where they think that it's good to be so-called accepting of homosexuals and stuff. Oh, put them in positions of power. They're going to be fair. They're not fair.
No,
Mayor Pete Buttigieg is not going to be a sane person. He's no better than any of the Democrats, and they're all evil.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, I love every man. I love every woman. But you just gotta understand the life of a homosexual. Like, they are liars. They are born lying because a lot of them have that sentiment or that attraction to the same sex, and they live whole lives learning to lie about it. And lying is just the way that they live. You know what I'm saying? Until at some point where they quote unquote come out of the closet.
Yeah, and even
so, you cannot trust them.
Yeah, even their attractions are a lie. They're deceived. They're it's a perversion of what's right. So they're not for what's right. And
and
some are worse than others, but yeah.
I was one of the only people commenting on Twitter, like, what's wrong with that?
Right.
Like, that's a good thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And she has a little bit of common sense left. Instead of shaming her, we should encourage her to vote Republican.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow, that's quite a story. I'll have to look out for that one, Alexis.
Yeah, check it out.
Thank you for the tip.
It's a pleasure talking to you, Hake.
Yeah, nice talking with you as well. Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.
All right. So, let me just mention, last year at the State of the Union, we heard a line that I remember hearing, and then the people on the dissident right, the alt-right, you might call it, jumped on this. They hated this, and this was the main thing that they pushed, or at least one guy in particular, that Trump said we want more immigrants than ever, but they have to come legally. He said that back in 2019. I hate to even repeat it because I didn't like the line. I felt that it was just lip service to political correctness. I didn't really believe it. I hoped that it's not true because I don't want more immigrants than ever. But I know that we need like a workforce, so we need to make babies. Or somebody does. Decent people, right? Like what Joel says. Make good babies. But I don't think that he said that this time. And I remember seeing guys I respect on Twitter and Telegram, like I told you guys during the experts segment of the Jesse Lee Peterson show today, that across the board, people loved it. And last year, too, he honored Buzz Aldrin or somebody, one of the astronauts who reportedly landed on the moon. And the moon, he honored him. He was there. He paid respect to him. They applauded him. And the moon landing truthers, they went crazy. They said he looked so guilty that he's hiding a secret that he didn't really land on the moon. And he looked so guilty and depressed and dead inside. So no Buzz Aldrin this time. We had a Tuskegee Airman, 100 years old, this black guy, who just looked fit. Looked better than any of my grandparents. Actually, I only have one grandparent living anymore, I think. So, that's cool. And I told you, you can check out the experts segment on the Jesse Lee Peterson show for other stuff that I really liked from the State of the Union 2020. Let me get to some more calls, though. Blazing Hawgs out of Dayton, Ohio. The, what is he called? From the Sundown Town. There's
Night Rider from Sundown Town here. Hola.
The Night Rider from the, hey. I'm showing a picture, Joel's showing a picture of this Tuskegee Airman with his grandson, his great-grandson, 100-year-old Tuskegee Airman guy with a great-grandson who wants to be on the Space Force. That's cool. Very nice.
Hey, the snake list is going up this year, eh?
Oh, yeah, Blazing Hawgs. It is. Blazing Hawgs is another moderator in the snake pit, so he wrangles the snakes and times them out sometimes and all that stuff. Appreciate you, Blazing Hawgs.
Full-time job sometimes.
I bet.
So I want to talk about, me and Buddy here at work were talking about the law, and I'm going to have to hold my phone down so I can read it here, but
okay.
It's called the 18 USC 2071B. And hold on.
Stay close to your phone, even if you.
Specifically directed at custodians of public records. Any custodian of a public record who willfully and unlawfully conceals, removes, mutilates, obliterates, falsifies, or destroys any record shall be fined no more than $2,000 or imprisoned not more than 3 years, or both, and shall forfeit his office and be disqualified from holding any office under the United States. While the range of acts prescribed by this subsection is somewhat narrower than subsection A, it does provide the additional penalty of forfeiture of position with the United States. And this is just talking about Pelosi was given the signed State of the Union address, official document.
Oh.
So I'm just trying to see what you think about it, get it out there.
Interesting. I thought that you were talking about illegal aliens because there's many illegal aliens who've come in and falsified documents. They're not undocumented. They're fraudulently documented. They're quite well documented, actually, many of them. Illegal aliens. I thought you were talking about that.
No.
But you're talking about Pelosi. Pelosi ripping up the... Yeah, very interesting.
Because that's why he handed her that official one.
Right.
She tore it up. It goes under this 18 USC 2071B. This would be a good one for Joe Kenyon.
Yeah. But you know, that would be a good one because Joe Kenyon is a legally trained person, intellectual. But, you know, I mean, you and I both know the reality of politics. They're going to totally let it slide. Nothing's going to happen because nobody who does wrong and nobody who actually behaves inappropriately is punished over there in that sleaze town of D.C.
Yeah, it's just got to start coming to a head here. People have got to start falling.
Yeah.
The swamp.
Totally.
But, hey, shout out Brandon Johnson. Happy birthday to you, bud. All my sons of Jesse. All my sisters in chat. Love you all.
Right on, Blazing Hawgs. Good to hear from you.
Hey, Maze, you said you love that Ronnie Millsap song. There's a stranger in my house. He black. Happy Black History Month.
Right on. Shout out to Maze.
Later.
Thanks, Blazing Hawgs. Good to hear from you. You know what? Let me get to Elfine. Am I pronouncing your name right? Out of Ohio? Elfine?
Mamma mia. Yes.
Hey.
Elfin. How you doing, man?
Doing fine. Did you say Elfin?
Yeah, like Elfin, like Mexican.
Mexican for the end, right?
For the end, exactly.
Okay.
So I'm not Mexican, but I'm the end of the nonsense. So.
Oh, right on.
Anyway, I just got a quick shout out.
Oh, you're in the chat, is that, huh? I think.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm from Ohio too, so Maze. Shout out to Maze. Shout out to Blazing Hawgs. Shout out to Earl. Shout out to the whole chat. I love everybody.
That's right.
So.
Oh no, Earl's from Michigan.
Oh, Earl's from Michigan.
I was thinking that he was from Cleveland for a second, but anyways.
Yeah, me too. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Well, my question is, I've heard you talk about Catholicism as, like, not American, and I've thought that too, but, like, I don't know. I've been struggling. I've been thinking. I've been tempted. I've been thinking about converting to Catholicism.
And why is that, in short?
Yeah. Okay, in short, the reason is because when I look around at my grandma's church, the Methodist church, it's so cucked, man. I mean, they're now kicking out all the pastors that are not LGBTP, right? And I'm serious. This is like a schism going on.
Yeah.
But when I look at the Catholics, they have order. I like the Catholics. I like the discipline. I like the structure.
Yeah.
So I don't know. My whole point was, my question was, if we live in a post-America now, where there's no law, there's no order, where illegals are given power, whites are being genocided, whatever. Well, then what's to stop me from being like, look, how about I just become Catholic? At least I'll have order in my own life. So, what do you think about that?
I personally don't think it's a good idea. I understand. I know that a lot of guys are in your position, and young women too. Soph even. Soph is a young lady, actually a minor, I think. She's 14 or so.
Yeah, she's like 10 or something. Right?
Yeah, 12 or 14 or something. And she, I think, is thinking of converting to Catholicism, although I don't think that her parents were particularly religious. And part of the reason, I understand there are some, not the majority, but some, let's call them based Catholics out there. And I respect those guys. Catholicism in general seems odd to me and weird to me. But
I know,
the Bible,
I know it does to me too.
But I understand what you're talking about with the order and stuff. But why not just? I think that each man in the Bible, it says somebody. I think Paul says it. Whatever you guys think of Paul, some of you guys don't like him, but or respect him or whatever. But I think that he said something along the lines of, whatever situation you are in your life, don't try to change it. Be at peace with it. And and Jesse Lee Peterson makes a great point. When you're not sure, keep doing what you're doing. Do nothing. Do nothing different from what you're doing, as long as you know is what's right. And if you don't know for sure if it's right or wrong to do it, don't take the plunge, right? Because a lot of people, they may get excited and think that this is the right thing, but they're listening to their thoughts and they have all this confusion about it. And I don't know why you're asking me if you know for yourself, because maybe you do know for yourself, or maybe you don't know for yourself.
I know in my heart it's the right thing to do, but like I'm an intellectual, so I'm like, oh yeah, but I don't like the Pope. Oh yeah, but I'm an American. I'm a founder of America. I can trace my ancestors back to the founding of the
because
country.
Listen, you know what's right. Just follow what's right, and you don't need the name. The name can come later. You know what I mean? Because basically Catholicism is just a name for whatever you're looking for. You should just seek what's right and stick with what's right, and you don't need the outer whatever it is, unless you know a good Catholic church that you're gonna attend, that they're doing the right thing. But other than that, you just stick with what you're doing, and just be for what's right. That's what I say.
I got it, man. I like that answer. I'm gonna talk back. I'll call back later. I have another question.
All right, I appreciate it, Elfin. Good to hear from you. Look forward to hearing from you again.
You too.
All right.
Sounds good, man. Have a good one.
Okay. Charles out of St. Louis, Missouri. You have 20 seconds. Go.
Okay. Hey, good to talk to you again. Just wanted to share with you that my grandfather was Milton Crenshaw, one of the original Red Tails.
The original what?
Red Tail.
Red Tails?
Black Flyers.
Oh, all right. Wow, I appreciate that, Charles. Let's talk again, man. Red Tail Tuskegee Airmen. Red Tail Tuskegee Airmen. Right on, Charles. Appreciate that. Congratulations. That's awesome.
What I wanted to say was,
I only have 20 seconds. Your 20 seconds are gone. You tell me tomorrow, man.
All right, it was a good thing, Hank.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. Let's talk again.
All right, then.
To be continued. All right, guys, we will see you tomorrow on the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. It will be Thursday. Again, no men's forum, but go to rebuildingtheman.com/events and look up that thing if you're anywhere in the Arizona area, particularly Glendale. Head over and check out Jesse Lee Peterson give a talk over at the Content of Character series. He's been doing a few of those conference things. All right, guys. TheHakeReport.com for my blog posts and Hake News stuff. You can look them up. All right, guys. Take care.